Okay, so we're reading a book called Hench. So we stop at page 30. So we're going to continue until page 40. So let's get through this. Okay, here we go. So, and Lennox Gloves was waiting at the curb with a wheelchair. As the cab stopped, Bracken fumbled weakly to open the door, and as soon as the latch caught, the meat kicked it open. The man at the curb poked his head in, the freakily shaped bald skin gleaming under the cab's interior lights. Can you stand? Do no. He swung his head back and forth in agony. Try. The medic reached in and gently as he could started to wrestle the injured young man out of the cab. The meat widened and hissed, sucking air between his teeth as the medic eased him down on the seat on the wheelchair. Thanks, Oscar, the medic said, patting the roof of the car and then shutting the door behind him. Oscar made a disgusted noise and pulled quickly away. I caught at last glimpse on the someone wheeling the injured young man toward the building, where two more staff were holding the doors open, ready to stitch the kid up and pump him full of painkillers. There was an awful beat of silence, and the demolished raging cab. Where to? Oscar said. Eventually, I looked over at Bargain, whose striped dress shirt was visibly smeared with blood and vomit, and who was holding a filthy napkin up to his mouth. Can we drive you home? Stop the car, he said very quietly. Oscar craned his neck to hear better. Stop now, he bawled. Oscar brought the cab quickly to the next curb as Bracken fought to free himself from his seatbelt. I'll walk. Just let me out. This isn't the best neighborhood. He slammed his way out of the cab and swayed on his feet for a moment. I reached for him in alarm and then quickly withdrew my hand. His disgust was palpable. He braced himself against the car for a moment, and as soon as he got his head together, he fled. I watched him quickly march away. I have to run for me home now. I have to run for me too. The car slid back into the flow of traffic, moving almost squarely. You, want to go home? Oscar asked, not unkindly. I nodded. In my bag, my phone started to chirp. It was June, checking in, make sure I had survived the evening. I don't want to talk about it. I hit send and tucked my phone back in my bag, ignoring the buzz of her repeated messages. I pressed my hot face against the window, watching the liquid city nights. The liquid city lights defeated. Then my credit card was declined twice. June was gasping for air, laughing so hard she'd stopped making any reasonable sounds and was just wheezing. She had a pair of swimmer's nose plugs on to shield her from the scents of sweet and body spray. And spilled con cracktainers in a karaoke bar. Oscar finally took pity on me and said he'd in first E. Shoot, dude, she gasped, fainting her face. It's so terrible, so terrible. She tried to take a swallow on Charanray, but almost choked. I pressed my lips together and looked toward the stage, where Greg was belting out snow tunes. Your empathy moves me. I'm dying. So is my sex life. Are you going to call him again? Oscar? Yeah, he's a good driver. It wasn't his fault. No, you idiot. Bramble. Bracken. Whatever his terrible name is. Obviously not. I looked down into my gin and tonic, stirring it. I can't read that word. Let me put my hands out. Stirring it fretfully with the little straw. That's better. It could be a fine story one day. You're okay. Let me open the door for air. I can't take it anymore, guys. Let me move this. Okay. So, your dramatic first date. It could be a fun story one day. Your dramatic first date. He was covered in blood and puke. The start of war-rent romance. Your child will be named the Turf Hench. You know, I'm naming my firstborn Ruth. I drank the best of my drink and rattled the ice in the bottom of the glass while she crackled. I need another. I stood, whopping my heels. I passed Greg on my way to the bar. He'd handed out the mic and was trying to attract the bartender's attention to get another Long Island iced tea. He spotted me and lifted his hand for a high five. I walked right by, leaving him hanging. He scowled and dropped his arm cold on. I leaned on the bar in order for both of us, as it was clear the bartender was going to continue completely ignoring Greg as punishment for seeing Mr. and Miss of Felice going out of the night before the press conference. My first bit of field work was a mistake, but one I needed. I feel like shoot in the morning, but the hangover and being made fun of by my friends might wash a little bit of the rig of failure that had been clanking to me ever since that distant-looking man had probably the worst state of his life in my company. A slick Rick's drink over to him. He picked it up and nodded in thanks. His phone had rung and he was struggling to give text support over the tiny sniff and off-key saying, "Have you tried pressing Control Alt Delete? Yes, the buttons. Yes, at the same time, he put his drink down, and struck his finger in his ear to try and hear better. I took a sip of my drink. He hung up a moment he hung up. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. He hung up a moment later, and we walked back to the table together. June had somehow acquired a morning and was fishing out a pearl onion with her petal-like fingernails. She flicked it at me. She was still green. Okay. At least work seems to be going well, she said too cheerfully. You're enjoying this. I'm cheering you up. So minimus. Shut up. Also, I mean it. Eloxy. Luxury work. Yeah. He was talking you up to an electro cautioner. In a minute. There was a tiny bit of sourness in her voice, an edge of jealousy. It made me believe her. I sat up a little. That's something. Greg had been nodding all along. It is something, he agreed. Going out in public with a feeling is for a real henching. You're part of the entourage. I smiled despite myself. Let's hope my energy is aligned tomorrow. June lifted a talented finger. Also stop being civilians. My sword twisted. Yeah. You're just going to get blood all over them. Start looking in the talent pool. Another hench. She struggled. Or a feeling. Yeah, I already have one ex who stalks me. I'm good. I found the personally evil are much more visible. June said, vaguely drinking. She rounded up and spilling a bunch of Martin down her shirt. Is that why you keep dating that one piece of meat? She paused to glare at me. We are not dating. He's a semi-regular booty call at best. Also, do not get too you tried it. I could just warn the poor Sylvie next time. June swiped at the front of her shirt angrily. Pointless. They either write you off immediately or get it hard on imagining you robbing banks in a thong and golf boots. So I shouldn't wear that to work tomorrow. I mean, follow your heart. Anna, how are you? I flinched and turned to find he sternly toward me across the electrophonics industry's lobby. He was possibly beaming, walking with a long, confident gait and wearing a dark blue pinstriped suit. His teeth were so white they seemed to glow, and his tan seemed especially deep. In one hand, he was holding a device that looked a lot like a gold dinner plate, attached to a pair of brass knuckles. Two people from R&D scattered behind him nervously, their eyes fixed on the device, hands twitching, certain he was going to drop it. I swallowed and smiled, hoping my face was not too strong. His excitement was gravely in my headache. I can't wait to see what the day has in store. I took a sip from the China coffee I was holding. Good. He fiddled with one of the knobs on a apparatus in his hand, and one of the researchers next to him grimaced. Is that a new model? I didn't have to fake my curiosity. The gadget looked like a more advanced version of my prototype he'd had in development for ages, something called the mod ring. It was supposed to be able to scan emotional states or red arrows if you were feeling particularly infectious. June was amending it. Didn't work, and it just made all the rings up. Yes, well, sort of. He turned another knob, and the mod ring started to emit a low hum like a turning fork. No spoilers before the press conference, but it has a few new features. Oh yeah, I tried this sound game. He swept the mod ring up and down in front of me, then around my body like a handheld metal detector sweeping for weapons. He brought in it a little too close to my face and almost knocked my glasses off. I smiled from my annoyance and nausea. The motoring pinked and the humming faded to a low buzz. Ah! He eagerly brought the thing close to his face to get a better look at the tiny digital screen that displayed the motoring's readings. It reminded me of the screen on a calculator watch. It says you're stressed. He looked up, his dark eyes liquid and concerned. Are you stressed, Anna? I tried to stop my heart with my mind. Good stress will still read as stress. I finally offered. I am keyed up for the presentation. He nodded stagely. True, I should adjust the calibration for that. He fiddled with the device for another moment, then struggled in tossing it to one of the hovering R&D guys. The developer caught it with a kind of fumbling panic, like he had thrown a baby at him. More hinges. I gathered in the lobby while we talked. Several administrators buzzed around carrying tablets and paperwork, and a half dozen meets, all wearing suits and earpieces. Louder about exhibiting a look I liked to think of as semi-formal murderer. One of them, with a tattoo on his neck of a Geiger, had been working with E for some time. I accidentally caught his eye, and we winked at me. I turned away too quickly, and a little bit of coffee leapt out of the lid of the travel mug, splashing my shirt. My head fumbled. His phone chirped, and he became even more animated. Our chairs await. He stole out the front doors, flanked by his bodyguards, and the rest of us followed. Just outside the doors, as a long midnight blue supercar waited, purring like a contented tiger, he climbed it out in along with the stony-faced R&D guard holding the mall ring and Gregor neck. The rest of us peeled into the pair of SUVs parked just behind. I chose the car with the most admins, hoping it would be quieter, but as soon as the vehicle started to move, the interior cabin lit up painfully bright. A pair of screens, one for each row seat, sprang to life, displaying E's grinning, ridiculously pleased face. The few bounce. He was clearly recording with his cell phone. It made me seasick. Hey team, it's a big day. The sound in the car was tiny and too loud. I moaned audibly. One of the researchers sitting next to me, a woman with red hair and a tight bun, giggled quietly. Thanks to all of you for being a part of this. Now everything's going to be pretty straightforward once we get there. It's a teleconference being broadcast live, so there won't actually be anyone in the space but us and the camera crew. The image shook. Finally, he was doing excited jazz hands. It's going to be big. Then the screens went dark and I sighed in relief. I spent the rest of the trip clucking my coffee and dabbing and failing at the small stain on my shirt. The press conference was scheduled to take place in one of the ballrooms of a nearby hotel. When we arrived, the camera crew was already there, going for the last of their preparations. He huddled with delight as soon as he strode for the door, startling all three of them badly. The ballroom was considerably more well appointed and well lit than anything in the gray and bridge electronics offices. There was a long window along one side of the room, which had very excited, charling on about how good his skin looked under natural light, while one of the crew, a young Indian woman with a braid that went down to her lips, fitted him with a wireless mic. Then the set, such as included a long dark wooden desk for E to sit behind and an oversized forest green armchair. The arms were carved into elaborate curves and made the seat seem a little bit like a throne. He sat down and screwed in delight. In addition to the woman with the mic, there was a stocky camera operator who was always strapped into a stapling rig and a dirty man. An aging Irish punk with a side-shaved handling a pair of laptops and a seemingly ridiculous mobile cables, who I vaguely inferred was in charge of the broadcasting part of whatever was about to happen. I might have recognized the punk from temp agency, but not well enough to say hello. Once he was wired for sound, the pair of texts for R&D buzzed about setting up the mood ring on the desk in front of him, placing it on a elaborate stand. Move it a little to the right, guys. The camera operator instructed, face conquered in a squint as he looked into the camera. The researchers looked miffed as they carefully shifted everything over a piece at a time. We want to see your boss after all, he added, and one of the lab techs grabbed. He's smart, especially can't have anything observing this fish sage. He giggled toward his hot chick boned face. I thought he might have been wearing a little bit of eyeliner for a conversation. I had to admit it suited him. So I'm going to stop here, guys. So I'm running out of time. Here is on page 37. So the next target field is going to be pages 38 to 40. So it's not an IRL, promise, guys. Goodbye, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications so you miss some more awesome videos just like this.